What's up, everybody? Baby Huey here for 1077 The Bone, and it's an exciting week for wrestling fans here in the Bay Area. AEW is back in town. AEW Dynamite and Collision will be at the San Jose Civic this Wednesday, March 11th. For tickets and more info, go to aewtix.com, and joining me to talk all about it is one half of the Gates of Agony and also one third of the Demand. It's AEW star Toa Liona. How's it going, Toa?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Dude, super excited to finally talk to you. We were talking a little bit before we hit the record button here. And yeah, you and I, our paths have crossed quite a few times over the last year. You're a Bay Area guy. I'm a Bay Area guy. I think, yeah, we crossed paths at Oasis Pro Wrestling, Big Time Wrestling. So I have to know, man, just your thoughts. How excited are you for AEW to be back in the Bay Area, but also your hometown of San Jose?
I'm extremely excited, especially because of how my career has progressed within the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Every year when AEW comes into town, I'm super excited. But just like every year I get more and more excited knowing that my rise to the top is coming, and to be in front of my hometown, family and friends is one hell of a feeling.
I have to know, ticket requests. Are you getting a bunch of them from family and friends? Like, are we gonna have like a whole section at the San Jose Civic for you?
No, so it's so crazy. I try to keep my head low because this the San Jose Civic Theater, man. We ticket sales are going so well right now
Yeah.
in itself. Like, it's damn near sold out. So I definitely got my friends and families like taken care of, but all the extra stuff that I would try to typically do is a little harder. But
Yeah. Well, listen, man, I'm super excited to talk to you. Like I said, I've seen you wrestle here locally a few times over the last year or two. It's just so exciting to see someone from the Bay Area get on national television, be part of one of the big promotions in the world. Let's talk about your wrestling journey, though. I'm really fascinated by this because I remember like when you kind of came on the map here locally. And if you Google your name, that photo still shows up. It's you like posing in front of the water. Oh my God. I remember that first came up. It was you and Juicy came on the scene together as a tag team. But I would love, like, how'd you get started in pro wrestling? I know it's within the last 5 years or so, or 6 years, but yeah, I love, how'd you get started in this crazy business?
man, just long story short, before wrestling, I was a competitive powerlifter, an elite
Yeah.
powerlifter. I was chasing a 700-pound bench press at the time, but my health wasn't at the best. Being a super heavyweight and in the biggest weight class possible to put up the most weight possible, did a number on my health. And also too, I came to a realization: if I bench 700 pounds, it's not going to put $1 million in my bank account. So came through a crossroads. I'm like, all right, what's going to be next for me? And my wife just so happened to ask, why don't you wrestle?
Okay.
She was into the big reality shows, and I would sit down and watch them with her, and she just popped the question then, and I was like, that's a very good question. I couldn't give her an answer no. So then I immediately went on my phone and started looking up schools. At the time I lived in San Diego, and the closest nearby school to me that I thought can teach me the best was Knox Pro under Rikishi
Gotcha.
Fatu
Yep.
in Reno and Hawaii. So I then dropped everything I had and went all in on the wrestling. Whether it was me driving back and forth from San Diego to LA, whether it was the pandemic happened and we had to move to the Bay Area, and
Yeah.
I would drive Tuesday to train. Wednesday, I'll go to San Diego to stay at friends' houses. And then Thursday, drive back up to LA, train, get home by Friday morning, like 2 or 3 in the morning. And I would do that months on end until the pandemic lifted, to where we eventually moved to LA. And once we moved to LA, all that time and travel I did driving, I put it
Yeah.
all in to more training and more
Mm.
focused training. So um, it was literally, I gave everything I got to potentially have a chance to make it. And, with the support of my wife and her family and my family, and by
Yeah.
the grace of God, we were able to get said opportunity. So, that's kind of how it all started.
That's awesome. Listen, I love watching wrestle here locally or on AEW television. Man, I love your hard hitting style. It's so much fun to watch. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4". So when I see big guys in the ring slapping each other around, I love it. That's my favorite style. I'm just curious though, who are some of your influence to kind of craft your in-ring performance style?
Man, so I have three that I really looked up to, and still to this day that I
Yeah.
find inspo from. That I try to, when I first started training, I was like, what kind of pro wrestler do I want to be? I have all
Yeah.
this background of me being, an elite powerlifter. Me being a collegiate Division 1, athlete. Playing football and stuff like that. So I'm like, how can I use all this arsenal to my advantage? So I started looking at people like. I love Umaga from a
Yeah.
character standpoint and a work
Yeah.
standpoint. Bobby Lashley as well, and Miro Rusev. Those three I would say would be my biggest inspos to like how I approach my in-ring style. And
Hmm.
obviously I wrestle completely different than all three, but I try to blend a little bit of all of them into my work and try to utilize what I'm good at, which is from the football side of things,
Yep.
0 to 60 start speed, hitting corners just like I would off the edge. My powerlifting aspect, whether it's me lifting three grown men at once, whether it's me holding one on my back and holding one in my arms, like I utilize all the things that I did in my past that was
Hmm.
extremely successful and just transition into the wrestling side of stuff. So, and me being crazy, if anyone's known me from my powerlifting days, I used to be part of a group called Strength Cartel in the
Hmm.
fitness industry.
Hmm.
And one of the things I was known for was freaking out, raging out, and crying before my lifts because I put myself in this mind state
Okay.
that just a little quick, like I'll try to hit this lift, and no one wants to squat 750 pounds on your back just willingly. So
Hmm.
I would
Hmm.
literally have to put myself in this mindset to where it's like I would trick myself where I would think of something that I really want, but knowingly I can't have. Whether it's like bringing back a lost one that may have passed away, or some sense of regret that I have. I literally put all my emotions. So when they say I am therapy, during that time in my life, that was exactly what it was for me. So I would freak out, rage out, cry before lifts, and then I'll lift these things that you wouldn't imagine me being able to do. And utilizing that as well into the wrestling aspect too. When you see me go crazy, raging out, freaking out, screaming like that, like I really do tap into a side of myself that I used to be out like that out in the public for a short. I definitely don't do this at like a commercial gym, but it's definitely a private owned gym where I'll be doing this stuff at. But
Yeah.
it's the only way for me to like really just give it everything I got. And thank God with pro wrestling, Larry, everything I named, I'm able to utilize all of it. Because in what other place or other sport can I use me freaking out, going crazy, and make money off of it? So,
Exactly. Yeah. No,
you know,
that's awesome to hear. I think you could definitely see that in your performance in the ring, and you really become like a fan favorite with your style. It's just so much fun to watch. But I do want to touch on here in the Bay Area, we've seen you wrestle quite a bit. Either with Big Time Wrestling, Oasis Pro Wrestling. Just your thoughts on the Bay Area wrestling scene right now as it is, or how it's evolved over the last few years. I mean, so many great talented people have come out of this scene in recent years, but maybe in the last 10, 15 years. We're so spoiled here with how great everything is. So your perspective, how's the wrestling scene out here?
man, when I first came to the Bay Area during the pandemic, obviously there was no shows running.
Yeah.
But to see where everything is at now, and the way these promotions work with each other, whether it's like
Yep.
West Coast Pro
Yep.
as well, another top independent
Yep.
promotion out here, works well with big time wrestling as well.
Yep.
Just like all these promotions out here, instead of trying to step on top of each other,
Hmm.
kind of work together. Where they're like, it's not, hey, let's not book the same weekend kind of thing. Like there's definitely enough people. The Bay Area is huge. It's not like
Yep.
we're running in the same city every week or whatever
Hmm.
the case may be, but and then you said the talent, man. The Bay Area the California in itself is full with talent,
Yeah.
athletes. These people are hungry and stuff like that, just like myself. So there's definitely a lot of up and coming talent out of California. So especially, let alone just the Bay Area itself. So
And that's the thing is, we saw you start making appearances in AEW in 2021 and eventually led to getting you signed. And it's just so cool to see one of our own from the Bay Area make it to that level. So what did it mean for you to finally get that contract with AEW? I was looking on your Twitter and you tweeted something a few years ago how like you were delivering for DoorDash, and then like a year later you're filming a commercial for them. So what did it mean for you to like finally get full time with AEW?
Man, as you asked that question, it's still surreal to me. The reason why I say this is because I've never once allowed myself to like fully like accept it all because
Hmm.
I'm still striving for more.
Yeah,
But as I sit back now and have this conversation with you, now that you brought that question to my foresight, man, it's pretty surreal, man. Like I said, the amount of time and effort I put into this, when no one sees, it was a lot. Whether it was a lot on me and my family, I just said like I moved my entire family, me, my wife, our son, and our two dogs from San Diego to the Bay Area. And then on that, I was driving, leaving my said family 3 days out of the week for months, just to potentially get a tryout, just to get an eye on me. It wasn't something
yeah,
where it's like, all right, we're doing this, you're gonna debut here. It's all gonna be worth it. It's like, no, you're literally putting all your eggs in this basket and no one might even come and give you a look.
yeah,
It was just one of those things. There's everything in my life. All I did was give everything I got, and
yeah,
everything I can look back on now, I have no regrets. So I was trying to take the same approach with wrestling, because when it comes to the physical standpoint, I have the accolades. I know I look the part. I know I have all these things. So my biggest thing I just wanted to do was make sure I was prepared in the ring. I wanted to make sure my work rate was acceptable enough for me to get a foot in the door.
hmm,
Um, but like I said, by the grace of God, everything kind of panned out where it needed to. Because yeah, when I'll never forget doing Uber Eats, my son in the car asleep, dogs in the car, my wife's pregnant at this time,
yeah,
with twins. We live in
yeah,
this little 1 bedroom apartment in LA. As I'm driving doing these Uber Eats, literally I'm walking, dropping this food off. I see in the window, big screen TV, AEW Rampage is on. And I'm seeing people on there that I know that I'm better than, and respect to everyone. Like I know what I am what I'm capable of,
yeah,
and I can sound cocky, I can sound arrogant, but I also sound like I'm telling the truth. So when I'm watching this, it drives me even more. And but I was like, for me, I just need to record this moment, something I could look back on, because I know I'll have a chance to look back on it. And fast forward maybe like a couple months or like sometime later that year, I got an opportunity to do a commercial with Uber Eats. And hilariously enough, they did not know I was a wrestler,
gotcha.
and they also did not know I was doing Uber Eats. So it was
Yeah,
also another thing that I felt like I was able to get said spot because of who I am and my value outside of all that. So
yeah.
it was pretty fulfilling, to say the least.
That's no, it's great to hear that your hard work's paid off. I mean, that's what better message than that for anyone listening, watching this right now. So kudos to you for just not giving up. And let's talk about just more in the recent years. You got paired up with your tag team partner Bishop Kaun, forming Gates of Agony, and it's such a fun tag team. So when you came in, how did that initial pairing come together? It's always I'm always fascinated when a tag team comes together, like who sought out who or who put the two together. Can you kind of just explain just how you and Bishop came to be?
Yeah, so just like myself, Kong was also, grinding and working his ass off. So we both got opportunities on AEW Dark,
Yeah,
and we both were standouts on our own. And
yeah,
hilariously enough, we both got brought to TV, that was in Washington, D.C. And we just so happened to see each other. At this point, we didn't know we were going to be put together.
okay,
But me trying to get signed, I looked at all the AEW Dark matches, hours and hours of it, just to see the competition, to give myself, like, all right, let me see who else I'm going against. And for the most part, I was like, yeah, I'm better than you, better than you, better than you, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. And then I seen Khan, and then it pissed me off because he looked good, he worked good, and
yeah,
I couldn't outright say I was better than. Everyone else I
yeah,
watched, I could outright say it. Everyone but him, I was like, damn, I was like, he's really good. So when I got to see him, I told him to his face, because, and he hilariously, he said the same to me, because we're both hungry, trying to figure out a way to just get on.
hmm,
And that day at TV, Tony brings us both to his office, and he asked us outright, like, hey, do you guys you guys want to be a tag team together? And we looked at each other and we said yes, you know. And hilariously enough, we also said like we just met, like we just so happened to hit it off, so it kind of
Okay.
just worked out perfectly.
Okay, I was gonna say,
Yeah,
like, that's really amazing that you guys just met each other, and then short time later, you guys are being paired together like that. But thank God you guys, obviously just mesh well together
yeah.
and all that. So, um, I would love to talk a little bit like over the next couple years, you guys putting the work in. What was the turning point for you guys to think that, man, this tag team, us, we have something here? Was it the trip to Japan, or was there something else that kind of clicked and you're like, we have something special between the two of
And
us?
I just hilariously said it was the same day we met.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because I want it bad, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And
Okay.
the small time and conversation we had, I can tell he was exactly the same. And right off the rip from there, I was like, wow, he is really all in about this. So as the time progressed, his work showed it. And I was like, it motivated me to work harder and push myself harder, you know. At the time, too, like my collegiate football weight is different than my powerlifting weight.
Okay.
And at that time, I was transitioning to lose weight. I was like pushing almost 400 pounds, like towards the top to the end of my powerlifting career. So I was trying to get down to where I felt athletic again.
Okay.
And seeing someone like Kaun, man, he looks like $1 million. So I was like, that definitely motivated me and pushed me to hurry up and get
Okay.
to where I'm at today, and just to see his work ethic in and outside the gym, we were at that moment. I knew we were destined. And then there's points where it's just it fulfilled the confidence, as you say, like the Japan trip was a moment. It was like, oh man, I would say that I had to pick a singular moment to where it's like, after this we started rocking and rolling, was definitely the tag league. But I
Okay.
knew we were going to be successful day one.
Interesting. Yeah, no, it's you're right. Like, just you guys have really gelled together and you become like a regular on TV, all that stuff. But in that time, though, we've seen you guys kind of go through a little different process over stable, as you want to call that. Obviously, you guys were with Tully Blanchard at first, and then jump over with Prince Nana and Mogul Embassy. A lot of changes during that time. For you, were you kind of like, oh man, we're changing, our presentation again or the name? Like, or were you like, trust the process, everything's gonna be fine? Kind of take me through that time period of like, changing managers from Tully Blanchard to Prince Nana. Were you kind of like, okay, what's going on here? But I'll be a good soldier and go along with it.
Yeah. When that first transition happened, when went from TBE to just the embassy,
Yeah.
I was so new into it to where it's like I'm rolling with everything. I'm definitely not gonna be something that's gonna be against anything when I
Yeah.
just got here.
Yeah.
And I know how good Prince Nana is, and I knew it before he started
Yeah.
doing this. And it's hilarious. He'll tell you if you get a chance to talk to him. I remember when I heard the news he was going to be our manager.
Okay.
I literally see him backstage. First time seeing him, and he sees me, big dude, just grinning, smiling, just pacing back and forth, staring at him. And he's like, "What is he looking?" And at that moment, I knew, because I knew of who he was. I
Okay.
knew of what we were capable of. I know what he was capable of. So I was really excited just to get an opportunity for all these like talented people to be in one group. Because
Mm-hmm.
at the time too, the embassy also had Brian Cage.
Yep.
So like we had all this talent, untapped talent
Yes.
and potential in a group that was like, if given the right opportunity, if given the right circumstances, this team can, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
So I mean, proof's in the pudding. I think the second pay-per-view we won the Ring of Honor 6-man belts.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that transition was cool. And then even going to the Mogul Embassy, every transition for that we had to do was a little step up, because once we got paired with the Mogul Embassy,
Mm-hmm.
TV time started going up. Now we have
Okay.
opportunities on TV to showcase what we're capable of doing, wrestling the likes of Darby and Orange, wrestling the likes of Sting.
Yeah.
We only got those matches because we were put in a group, the Mogul Embassy. It wasn't until after that where it's like, ah, damn, we're part of no group.
Mm.
We're kind of like floating around as soon as we turn on Swerve.
Yeah.
There was nothing really, you know.
Mm.
But with that, we didn't have our heads down. You know, we kept striving for more. We just kept working hard, whether it's the Ring of Honor matches, any matches we got to do on AEW TV. Me and Con had one thing and one thing: we're gonna go as hard as we can and do what we did to get to the show to begin with. Work hard and be undeniable. And you know, like I said, it's a repeating pattern, as you can see. Like by
Yeah.
the grace of God, man, we're able to do that. And then we got the opportunity to be with Ricochet, which I think is the best transition to finish off. So
Love that. Perfect segue right there. So yeah, let's talk about the man with Ricochet. Last summer, you guys, all three of you guys started working together, and it's been so much fun to watch because, listen, with Tully Blanchard, Prince Nana, as managers, they were like your mouthpieces talking on your behalf. Now, your personalities really come through on television over the last year now. So let's talk about all this. As far as, okay, first, Ricochet, how did that partnership come to be? Like, whose idea was it for you guys to work with Ricochet and form this new faction for himself?
Man, that's a good question. For me, during the whole process of it all happening, um, I saw that Ricochet had a promo saying that he's looking for men, by his side
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And we just so happened to have a match against Jet Speed during that time where he
Yeah.
was at the announce table. And I remember looking at Khan, and I was like, "Hey, man, this is our opportunity." I was like, I took it as a live tryout because as the weeks went on, Ricochet was also commentary for other tag matches
Okay.
that he was potentially scouting for. And at that time, we didn't know if we were going to get picked. So me and Con legitimately took it as a tryout, and we did everything we can to send it, and do what we could. We're to the, during the part of the show, I went to the commentary. I had my hands on Ricochet just to show everyone how it could look. I mean, just give everyone a little taste, and thankfully, man, it kind of just worked out because then he saw how dominant we are and we could be. Ricochet had the foresight to know what we could be,
Yeah.
because he saw the potential in us. I mean, since we've been put together, we've done things that in this company that not a lot of people can say,
Yeah.
We got Ricochet, he's the inaugural AEW national champion,
Mm-hmm.
first ever. No one can
Mm-hmm.
ever take that away.
Mm-hmm.
And the man had a little bit of help in the process of him rising, so I'm proud to say that. And as well as me and Connor, the only tag teams to beat the Hurt Syndicate. No other tag team can say that. So a lot of things has changed from then to now, you
Well,
know.
yeah, well, that's the thing. It's just, but the main thing I think a lot of people, I mean, obviously the matches are phenomenal, so much fun, but the personality, and that's something like I really notice with AEW, so much positive momentum right now going on. The pacing, the week to week television has been so entertaining. Obviously, AEW is known for where the best wrestle. That's been their motto from day one. So much fun to watch. But now I feel like we're really starting to see more character work or personalities being presented as well in between the matches, and you guys in particular really have broken through with that and make that connection with the audience. Was that something that was kind of like planned, like for Ricochet as well? I mean, Ricochet, where he worked before, we didn't get to see a lot of his personality, and so now I feel like he's had like a chip on his shoulder to prove himself that he has he's good on the microphone, he can have fun on the microphone, and you guys as well. Like you don't have like a manager talking on your behalf. You guys are doing your thing and showcasing your personality. Is that kind of like a strategy all three of you had? Like, okay, the demand, this is our time to shine and show who we are outside of the ring as well.
No, for sure. I mean, just my mindset as soon as I got into the business
Okay.
was just like I was when I first got here, man. I was super hungry. I had this mindset of my character, doing whatever he can to be in that mindset before I
Yeah.
go to the squat, before I go lift this heavy weight. I'm freaking out, I'm raging out, I'm blacked out, I'm going crazy. That was my first iteration of Toa Liona. As soon as he got into the scene, he's raging, crazy monster that doesn't speak. Never once said I couldn't speak, but
Mhm.
when you're ever so flustered and so pissed off, you can't talk.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was me early in my career. And I was waiting for the proper time to transition. But just in life, nothing gave me that sense of
Mm,
like, I'm okay now. I
okay.
always felt my back against the wall.
Hmm.
And I raged out all the way until I got paired with Ricochet. And I didn't plan it to go that long, but I didn't feel comfortable until I was paired with Ricochet.
Hmm.
Now I still have my breakout moments where I freak out and rage out, but I'm also able to speak now. My back is still against the wall in a sense, but I also have Ricochet right by my right, Kaun right by my left. I got my brothers with me, so I feel a bit more comfortable now than I did when I first came into the business.
Mm,
You know,
okay.
so now I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, now I can allow myself to showcase who I truly am. And now, you can speak. Yeah, I've been able to speak. Sorry, I've been so pissed off with everything that's happened in my life that
Okay.
I couldn't, Now I'm like, all right. Now I'm in those spots where it's like I see Ricochet, talking his talk. Khan is a phenomenal speaker as well.
Yeah.
So just get paired with them and just trying to see how I can flow with them has been really fun.
I'm sure it's a lot of fun kind of planning what you're going to talk about and like how you're going to deliver it. Can you kind of open up a little bit of the fourth wall or behind the scenes, like kind of inspiration? Do you guys what do you kind of look for inspiration when you want to do your promos? Are you trying to like mimic a certain character, or you're like, let's go out there and do a certain style? Like I'm kind of like how you guys brainstorm your promos together.
So hilariously, everyone has their own mindset of like what they're gonna say.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
figure out what we first and foremost we figure out the story. Like,
Yeah.
you know, um, right now the story is Jack and Ricochet.
Yep.
So Ricochet's gonna have the floor, and he's gonna be the one talking majority of the time. But as you can see, we do as well speak, especially in the program, for example, the Hurt Syndicate,
Yeah.
where myself I had my own little monologue. Khan had his own little monologue that we actually got to talk. So during those moments, we kind of come up as a group and like, hey man, this is how I feel about this. This is how I feel about this.
Okay.
Ricochet's been really, really great at that, helping us. And this was, I find it so funny, man. People talk so much crap on his promo skills, this and that.
Yeah.
And like, he's been so good at getting people to get mad at him for getting better is hilarious to me. People also don't know, like, for the most part, like, he helps create me and Khan's promo like structure. He'll allow us
Yeah.
to be who we need to be. And he's like, hey, you should probably do this. You should probably do that. I mean, why wouldn't we listen to Ricochet? He's been in this game for how long? Like,
Yep.
he
Mhm.
understands. And that alone got me more comfortable to even just talking because I got someone like him backing me, and then seeing the work that we've done as a group, like, we just vibe well together, So
Yeah.
when it comes to promos, we just bounce off each other.
That's great. That chemistry is so tough to find, especially in pro wrestling. It's so
Extremely.
needed. And no, I think it's so cool that you guys are doing that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So kudos to you guys for just meshing so well. That chemistry really comes through on our television screens. I have to ask though. So most recently, we saw you guys Mile High Madness, the Anything Goes match a couple weeks ago. It was crazy. I mean, we saw
Yeah.
you go through the barricade. We see you get hit with the vacuum, part of the vacuum, and dust particles all over the air. A fire
Crazy. I still
extinguisher.
got some mine.
Oh yeah, fire extinguisher. Like those matches. I mean, even here locally, for anyone who's been to Oasis Pro Wrestling show, Juicy's birthday, I believe a year and a half ago, crazy all over. Those type of matches, like please, kind of your mindset going into like a Mile High Madness type match. Are you like, all right, here we go. We're gonna go really crazy, balls to wall out there, or you're like, oh my god, man, I don't know if my body can take this. What is your mindset in those type of crazy matches?
Man, my mindset in that match, my mindset on every match is give everything I got,
Okay.
you know? And when it comes to the pain or like all that stuff, man, to me, that has zero effect on my mindset on whether or what I'm going to decide what we're going to do tonight. Because nothing were caused me more pain than the grind it took to get here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember those late nights of finishing training, getting picked up by my wife and kid and dogs in the car, knowingly that we had to go right to Uber Eats at 10, 11 o'clock at night because we
Yeah,
can't afford rent.
gotcha.
Like weapons, tables, stuff like that. I would put my body through hell and back for my family. So to get an opportunity like that, I feel worse for the people in the ring with me. I'm more than willing to go through it all. just so I know that I can take care of my family and that the demand is going to be on top. I'm willing to do whatever it takes because that's where I stand out versus a lot of pro wrestlers. They want it easily. They want, all the things nicely handed to them. For me, I'm willing to go out there and get it in the mud. You know what I mean? So ready.
Yeah, I love it. No, it's great. And like, I mean, God, there's so much to talk about with that. So I am curious though. A couple more with you is, do you have a favorite match in AEW thus far? I mean, you've had so many crazy over the top matches, but do you have a particular favorite moment or match in AEW?
I do have three come to mind.
Okay.
But I would say number one, and I think it has a lot to do with the circumstances around it, would be my one-on-one match on Dynamite against Hangman Adam Page in Dealer's Choice.
Okay.
Swerve and Hangman were in a feud, and Swerve picked me as Hangman's opponent that week. And the reason why I said that one was because at the time my mother-in-law just got sick, and then she recently passed when I got said match. So my wife was gone. It's my birthday. My wife's still with her mom, in the hospital, and I'm just sitting there by myself. In the darkest moment of my life, like, oh my God, I can't believe when I finally make it, all these things started falling on top of me. And, shout out to Will Hobbs, because Hobbs came to me that night, and he hung out with me all night. And he was by my side. And the next day, I was ready to go to work and take all that emotion I had and just give it everything I got. And Heyman was a great dance partner because I whooped his ass up and down that ring in New Orleans that night. And, doing things that no one knew I was capable of doing. At that time, I didn't do much. I was in a tag match. I was in a 6-man. I didn't get a chance to showcase what I was capable of doing. So when I got said match, man, I threw everything on the wall. I pulled out everything I could. I taught myself how to do a moonsault months prior going into this match because I wanted to have something in my back pocket to be like, wow, he can do that. And I a lot of things that you guys see me do on TV now, I self-taught myself because as you alluded to earlier, AEW is where the best wrestle. And I'd be damned if I'm not considered one of the best. So I'll do whatever it takes. So that match was number one to me because I feel like along with Tony, I think a lot of the fans got their eyes open on like what my potential truly could be.
Wow. No, thank you for sharing that. And shout out Will Hobbs as well. Another Bay Area boy doing good. So yeah, that's really cool. He did that for you as well. I do want to ask, okay, you got to wrestle Bobby Lashley. You referenced earlier in this interview that he was a big influence on you. So what did it mean to wrestle him one-on-one, but also the Hurt Syndicate? So what did it mean to kind of wrestle someone you grew up as a big fan of?
Surreal. And like I said top three. That was also one of my three. It was real surreal because it got a chance to, it was like, man, the old saying, like, your idols turn into your rivals. For me to finally be able to say that, it gave me a sense of like, oh wow, I made it, And also too, man, like to go against the Hurt Syndicate, like I wanted to show them that we were worth being a part of the program with them. That we're worth the energy that they're putting, into us. I wanted to showcase because until the Hurt Syndicate, we're just floating around, and it wasn't, I would say that Hurt Syndicate was our first serious program for me and Kaun to showcase what we're truly capable of doing. So that match itself was like, all right, at that time, second singles match. First one was I just named. So a couple years later, I now have my second singles match on TV. And I took the same approach, man. I'm throw everything on the wall I can, and I damn near broke my back trying. I tried to break Bobby's back, but I guess mine felt the brunt of it too. That Samoan off the apron was crazy, but if you ask me if I would do it again, 10 times out of 10, absolutely.
Man, that's awesome. So, just kind of wrapping up here, I'm just curious. Like I said, AEW. It's on firing all cylinders right now. Like just the momentum, the pacing, the matches, the matchups here. I mean, so much to look forward to, especially AEW coming to San Jose Civic this Wednesday, March 11th, AEWTix.com for all that. So, For you, long-term goals, I'm kind of curious. Do you have anything in particular you want to focus on next? I mean, we've seen you are ROH six-man trios champions there. Is there anything long-term like tag titles, trios titles, singles titles? What's next for you that we can look forward to?
I mean, I feel like you said it. AEW Gold. You
Okay.
know, by all means, I'll take Ring of Honor Gold as well on the way up. Like
Mm-hmm.
ROH tag belts is something that me and Khan have yet to achieve. Yeah, we're 22-2, I believe, in Ring of Honor. So
Mm-hmm.
our time when we want, we'll come and take those belts too. But right now, my main focus is on AEW Gold. You know, I
Okay.
would love the trios belts, the tag belts, obviously, and I think at the end of it all, I would love to have, you know, to be a singles champion as well. The Demand Man, we're a group full of stars.
Yeah.
Each in as an individual star. Khan in itself is a standalone star. I myself am a standalone star, and obviously Ricochet has been the standalone star. So for us to be paired with him and him just giving us the opportunity to allow ourselves to stand with him. We're not behind him most of the time, where a lot of the times that's where we were. You know, him has us right by side. You know, so his belief in us too, man, like that's why this group gets along so well. It's because we know what each other's goals are. It's nothing, anything that's like, oh wait, what? You wanted to do that? No. He knows we want to be single stars. He knows we want to be tag team champions. He knows we all want to be trios champions. So we're all in the same like mindset. And I think that's why this group is going to be one of the best groups ever in professional wrestling, let alone AEW. But I promise you, the best is still to come for the Demand.
That's awesome to hear. So, like I said, encourage everyone get your tickets for AEW Dynamite and also Collision this Wednesday, March 11th at the San Jose Civic in San Jose, AEWTix.com. Stack card for Dynamite this week. We got MJF and Hangman Adam Page with their press conference. We got Kyle Fletcher taking on Speedball Mike Bailey, Young Bucks, Mark Briscoe taking on FTR Tommaso Ciampa, Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli taking on Takesha, and you know, Willow's in action, Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, David Finlay, Gabe Kidd. So many matches. Follow AEW on social media to see all the match cards there as well. Man, thank you so much for making the time today. Also, I do want to mention AEW Revolutions this Sunday, March 15th, down in Los Angeles, crypto.com arena. That's live on pay-per-view and HBO Max, allwrestling.com for all that info. Toa, dude, thank you so much for making the time, man. Like, this has been such an honor. Great to hear your story and just, you know, anything. The main thing I think people can take away from this is not give up. But, dude, thank you so much for making the time today.
No, appreciate you. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, we'll have to, next time you're in the Bay Area or maybe this Wednesday, we have to hug it out, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, I'll be there in San Jose.
Okay, we'll do that. So, yes, I encourage everyone, get your last minute tickets for AEW Dynamite Collision. And like I said, thank you so much for your time.